When OT programs made the GRE optional, they did not stop evaluating academic readiness. They changed where they looked for it. And the four things they started weighing more heavily are the exact things most applicants are still treating as secondary. For the next few minutes, I want to show exactly what those four things are, why each one carries the weight it does, and how to build each one to the level that the new admissions requirement requires. Before GRE optional admissions, standardized testing provided external validation for academic capability that committees could lean on when other application elements were ambiguous. Without that external validation, committees needed other reliable signals. The signals they turned to were the ones that were always part of the holistic review. What changed is the weight each one of those now carries without the GRE. In the current environment, these four signals collectively carry what the GRE used to provide. Building them well is not optional anymore. It is the entire academic readiness case. So, let me walk through each specifically, what it signals, why it carries, and the weight it does, and how to build it to the level of the current environment requires. Writing quality is now the primary academic readiness signal in the OT admissions. It is not the correct grammar. It is the thinking guide. Not is the grammar correct. It's the thinking graduate level. Does this applicant reason professionally? Can they communicate complex observations and clinical insights with precision and clarity? Does the writing demonstrate the cognitive sophistication that graduate professional training demands? And that clinical documentation will require every day of your career. The verbal GRE score used to provide this signal independently. Without it, your personal statement and supplemental writing are the entire verbal signal. They need to carry that weight explicitly. Signal 2 changed how committees read something most applicants underestimated significantly. Observation descriptions are now primary clinical and scientific readiness signal. Not, did you complete the hours? What did you understand while you were there? Can you connect what you observed to the clinical science underlying in OT's decisions? Does your reflection demonstrate that scientific knowledge is becoming clinical understanding rather than remaining a prerequisite grade? The quantitative GRE score used to provide the scientific reasoning signal independently. Without it, your observation descriptions are scientific reasoning signal. They need to demonstrate applied clinical thinking, not just logged presence. Signal 3. Signal 3 is one of the most interview prep content completely misunderstands. Interview performance is now a primary professional readiness signal. Not, can you deliver polished, prepared answers? Can you reason under mild pressure? How do you handle a question you are not certain about? Do you get rigid or do you reason through complexity openly? Do you demonstrate the beginning of professional identity, the ability to hold ambiguity, acknowledge uncertainty, and navigate complexity without shutting down? That behavior in 30 seconds of a conversation tells a committee more about professional reasoning than any prepared answer could. Build your interview preparation around developing that capacity, not memorizing responses. 4. Application cohesiveness is now a primary institutional confidence signal. Does the application hold together as one coherent story? Do the credentials, experiences, stated goals, writing quality, and professional communication all point to the same direction? Or does something not quite add up, creating quiet concern that makes committees hesitate? Cohesive application does not require a perfect record. It requires a coherent narrative. Every piece telling the same story about who you are professionally and why you are ready. You can find out more on my pre-OT school community, OT Student Leveled Up. There are lots of resources there for pre-OT students. Also, if you'd like to connect with me directly, you're welcome to join one of my groups. Both links are in the descriptions. Good luck.